Thanks for coming back. This is part two of our interview with Noah Kanter from Linden Global. The first episode is really important. And if you haven't seen it or heard it, please go back and listen to that before you get into this one so that you'll have some context. If you're now back, welcome. This is Global Student Voices. You're joining this one in progress with Noah Kanter. Right. Yeah, that comparison trap is just, it's an awful cycle. That's certainly one of the things that it's probably the main thing I address. People come to me with specific school related, college related things, but what I actually address is that comparison trap. What we're
Yeah.
really dealing with is just stop. You're not them. Whoever it is that you're trying to be, just be you. Like you're enough. In
Yeah.
fact, the full you is more than enough. Like it's fantastic. It's worth celebrating.
And I think it comes hand in hand with self-advocacy skills. So I want to say this is also so important, like to really advocate for yourself, to say, hey, this is who I am, this is what I need, this is where I want to go to, and I don't need to be anyone else.
Yeah.
Maybe I have my goals, and I want to achieve them, and I can if I set myself to it, and I have, I draft myself the way to get there, but also um, not to be, yeah, just self comparison is very destructive.
Yeah. Yeah. And social media makes it really easy. I mean, like it's a constant trap. In the conversation, we talked about kind of the collective care, the co-care. I think it's so important, and I'm curious if you've observed this. There are so many people in close proximity to every student I've ever worked with who really want to be a part of their cooperative care network, and the students are just struggling in isolation and don't even realize how many people are around them that would love and need to be a part of a community and a collection. Can you talk a little bit about that and kind of your observation of that?
I definitely, as I said earlier, I think that many of the students, and especially those who are high achieving and are set very high standards for themselves, one of those hidden messages that they get, and this is again something for us, I think, adults around them to have to, to look at ourselves in a mirror and have like question, what is it that we're doing that needs to be changed. One of those messages is that you need to figure this out on your own, or at least this is what they internalize. You're old now, you've crossed this like imaginary line that says you're 18 or 19, and you should be able to do that. Obviously, it comes also hand in hand with the fact that adolescence means that you're trying to rely on yourself, and there's a lot of self-reliance and maybe also rejection of many authoritative figures. So those things make it harder to communicate and say, hey, what am I doing? And I think we really need to be very explicit in sharing our own experiences from that age and say, hey, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know. I had this hope. I felt interested in something. I said some things for myself. And I surrounded myself with people who would help me along the way. And sometimes I made mistakes, and sometimes it was really
Yeah.
rough. And here's what I did when it was like that. And here's what worked. And here, this didn't really work for me. And just really talk to them about real life experiences. Be clear that we will never judge them. I think that sometimes we invest so much time and energy as adults, and now I'm talking also as a parent, and creating like the perfect setting, providing the opportunities. And we just need to remind our kids, most important part is that we talk, and that when things are not great, you can say that to me and I can listen. And if I don't listen properly, tell me, hey, you're not listening.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Don't need to fix. I just need to listen.
Just need to listen.
Yeah. That's huge. That was literally the question I was just about to ask, is what's the big thing for parents? That's it. For school directors who are maybe at an international school right now and listening, what is the one thing they could do, like starting this week or setting up into next year, that would make a huge difference in the mental health of their students?
A few things. First of all, as I said, really investing early on in student workshops when, like, as a part of their college counseling program, and having, especially if they have a social emotional counselor and a career advisory counselor, have them communicate, have them collaborate, and develop curriculum activities together. Teach explicitly executive functioning skills, time management skills, stress management skills, and make it clear that this is for everyone. Everyone is going to experience all those things. Everyone is going to procrastinate at some point.
Pardon the interruption. Thanks for listening to this episode of Global Student Voices. We're glad you're here. We try really hard to provide good content for international school leaders, parents, and students. But to know what you want to hear, we need to hear from you. So please reach out and let us know what you'd like to hear next. Now, back to the show.
Everyone is going to feel like things are too much because we live in a world that things are sometimes too much. We have to teach those skills. So that is very, very important. And I think really also have them encounter many routes, not just one thing, not just bring those like 5 universities and that's it. Talk about different pathways after graduation, talk about volunteering, talk about taking a gap year, talk about all those different options, and normalize lots of pathways, because we're all different people. And I think that when you talk with alumni, when you talk to adults, you see that different people got to very similar positions in very different ways. And I cannot tell you this one is good and this one is bad. No, everyone has to walk their path. Bringing alumni, I think that's very impactful. That's very helpful. I think that students tend to listen to alumni more
Yeah.
than to adults talking. They tend to identify with them more. So I would definitely do that. They can also share not just success stories, but also struggle stories and how they overcame difficulties and build their resilience. Like, really have very brave, honest conversations about resilience as something that you keep on developing and building throughout your lives, and that is not just something you have or you don't have.
And a challenge for international schools who don't always have their alumni around, but there's ways to build that in.
Definitely. And I think that's how they actually listen. I think when we only share more of very polished success stories, they don't actually listen. They see through it. So yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
that's how you get to buy-in as well.
Yeah. Um, do you have, I'm putting you on the spot here, and you can just say, no, I don't have that. Do you have like a one page or a resource for school leaders that we could let them know where
Well,
it's at and how to get it?
I actually do have, because so the Council of International Schools, which is an accrediting body for many international schools, they have been occupied with this topic of transitions, and specifically transition from high school to either higher education or other career pathways. And they develop a toolkit for how that preparation needs to happen, and that's available on their website, and it is absolutely excellent. And they
Okay.
have different domains that they feel that they identify that should be addressed. This is all research based, after from talking to different schools. So I highly recommend using their toolkit. Any school that is affiliated with the Council of International Schools should have access to it. Yes, that is major. And
Okay. Well, we'll have a link or a pathway to that in the description. We'll make sure that that's
yes,
included. If people want to get a hold of you or Lyndon and the resources that you guys have, what's the best way to do that? And then the second part of that question is, are there any workshops, services, resources coming up that we want to make sure that people know about?
thank you for asking that. So actually, one of the things that we're trying to do right now is also, as I said, like, start early on. We have some webinars for parents that are coming up soon. One free webinar is specifically about supporting IB teens, focusing on time management, focus, and kind of life beyond school, and that is coming up on May 18th and May 28th. So just in a few weeks, and it's completely for free. And I can share a link with the how to register to that Zoom link. We have similar weekend workshops also online for IB and kind of teen coaching programs. So building all those skills for teens around the world, creating that community, right, of people that are exactly at the same place as you are. Specifically over the summer, we call that the bridge program, right? Because we see oftentimes that this is actually the time to really build skills and kind of you have more time to delve into things. But and I'll be honest with you, Scott, what we see at Linden is oftentimes that we get so many requests for counseling in September because things are just being dropped over the summer. So this is my time to say, please, maybe let's create that bridge and not drop those things over the summer. So there are a lot of things that we offer right now and could be booked also on our website. I will share all the links with you later.
Great. And they'll be in the description. We'll make sure that they're tied to wherever you're seeing this or listening to this conversation. We'll have those links there. They are really good. I've seen what's happening in the Bridge program, and it's really good. I think a lot of families think about doing like SAT prep or some other academic piece, and my advice is stop it. The academics is way over. Kids are way over prepared for college and university academically, but they're way underprepared in some of these other skills. And what you're offering at Linden is huge, huge, huge for that. So thank you for doing that.
It's really overarching. Instead of focusing just on one specific subject or extended essay or other IB topics that I cannot think of in the top of my mind right now. What are the commonalities between all of those things? What are the things that I will still carry on with me when I go to my next chapter? It would just be my life skills. So it really kind of zoom out and think about those fundamental skills that are also resilience building skills, which is what we care about.
Yeah. Well, Noah, thank you so much. This is the kind of conversation our audience really needs. It's clear, it's grounded, it's honest about what students are actually facing. It's huge. I really appreciate it. It's a two-part series. So if you're listening to me at this point, you've listened to the both parts of the series. We're going to split it in half so people can get all of this good stuff in a time frame that works with everyone's schedule, which is short. But until next time, this is Global Student Voices. Thank you again, Noah. This has been really wonderful. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me here.
I'm so grateful you stayed till the end. This was a great episode, and I hope it was really helpful to you. Again, we'd love to hear your feedback, but we also wanted to make you aware of some of the other ways that you can connect with Global Student Solutions. Global Student Voices is a service of Global Student Solutions. We also provide books and resources like you see behind me, as well as a variety of other services, educational content, and consulting. So we would love to connect with you. And at the very least, if you can follow us and subscribe on our YouTube channel. We also have a membership program coming up, and we'd like you to be the first member. So let us know, get your name on the list, and we'll make sure that you're the first to join the membership community. Thank you, and have a great day.